Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at headlines from our city, state, and country. We take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions on how to best connect with each other and with our destination, the city of Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Tuesday, October 25th, and it is a pleasure to get together with you, as always, and read all the content, all your stories, all your questions, and to share what I found interesting in the news this morning. As always, if this is the first time you're watching live and you would like to receive a nice little welcome, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. If you are watching if you're watching on YouTube, then you're watching the reruns. We don't have commenting there, but we appreciate the fact that you follow us on YouTube. So it is a good thing. Also, of course, as always, if you have something really important that you wish to address with the rest of us, or you would like to have answered or acknowledged, a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment goes a long way in us being able to notice that comment during the comment section later on. Today, we have news about COVID vaccination. We have a bit of hurricane news and remembrances. I decided not to bring you more news about the murder of Salvador Llamas, at least not today, because the investigation is still underway. There's nothing conclusive to share, but I'm continuing to watch this story because I think it is important, despite the fact that we usually don't report on murders and things like that. So let us get started with the broadcast and take it from, I didn't turn my button control panel. There you go. Okay, for starters, Jalisco health authorities have announced the conclusion of adult COVID-19 vaccination campaigns throughout the state after successfully applying vaccines in 80% of the population. Yay. Since the beginning of the pandemic, Jalisco, our state, has applied over 12 million COVID-19 vaccines in adults reaching 86% of the population with at least one dose. So at least one dose was applied to 86% of the population, and of course, vaccination for children between the ages of 5 and 11 continues to be available, as the authorities would like to see more young children receive the vaccines. Moving right along, also, as far as COVID is concerned, federal health authorities have announced that with an average of only 230 new daily cases throughout the whole country, and with less than 2% in hospital bed occupancy, the numbers are as low as they've been in the past 3 months. Is COVID-19 over? Well, authorities have stated that we are in what is known as an inter-epidemic stage, meaning that a peak could return during the winter months. Let us keep our fingers crossed that this doesn't happen. Let us count our blessings and be as careful as our own comfort levels require us to be. Again, I see people still wearing a face mask out and about, and that's perfectly fine. And we all know what we need to do to take care of ourselves and to feel comfortable as we move around the city. Moving right along, Tribuna de la Bahía reports on new damage caused by Hurricane Roslin around the Malecón this past weekend, particularly behind the seahorse sculpture, where new cracks have appeared to the point that it would seem like a major intervention is due at that particular location in order to strengthen the general area. This area of the Malecón had already been pummeled by other storms this season, so it's a good thing that this is being brought to light. Hopefully, it will be addressed soon by municipal government and it will be repaired. And it is also worth remembering that it was 20 years ago today, 20 years, wow, when Hurricane Kenna passed near Puerto Vallarta, and we were not so lucky back then. It was a Category 5 hurricane that created extensive damage to the Malecón and throughout the hotel zone. 4 people lost their lives in that occasion. 40 were seriously wounded. And as you can see from this image, not only was the Friendship Fountain located to the right of the the amphitheater arches, but the arches themselves were completely destroyed during Hurricane Kenna. There was a lot more destruction around that area and in the hotel zone. Were you here? If you were here, I would love to learn more about what it was like for you. I'll be happy to share my own personal account, and we can leave that for the comment section. Now, let's take a look at the weather just to see what we can expect for the next few days. Oh, that's the craziest poetry I've seen coming out of Snarky Weather. By Neptune's seaweed pubes, it's partly cloudy. Fair enough. It is 26 degrees right now. Humidity is as low as 77%, and that is a nice number. Our Fahrenheit temperature is 78 degrees, and our weather forecast for today says humid and partly cloudy through the day with a high of 30 and a low of 21. Wednesday, humid and partly cloudy. That will be tomorrow with a high of 29 and a low of 21. And then Thursday, humid throughout the day with a high of 29 and a low of 19. Are you seeing these numbers slowly come down? I am, and that makes me extremely, extremely happy. One more announcement and a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the comment section. Why do I have to? Never mind. Yes, we have one more announcement that I want to share, or an update rather. Yesterday, we were commenting on damages suffered at El Barracuda and Bar Solar after the hurricane. Some people reported that they were open. Others were wondering if they were or were not. And now the restaurant has posted an update on their Facebook page indicating that they are going to be open as of tomorrow. So this is good news. I am hoping to find the time to have a nice meal at Barracuda in the next few days. I haven't been there in a while, so it'll feel good to spend some pesos at the restaurant and hopefully do a little bit to help them gain or recover from the damages they suffered. And last but not least, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping, the kind that I don't particularly enjoy to do, but I think it's due. This is a bit of good news for the Mark Peterses out there. Yesterday, Mark was kind enough to criticize or to comment on my delivery on my own Facebook wall, which is really amusing to me. To me, that's kind of like, making a negative comment about a restaurant in front of the restaurant owner, but I digress. Mark and anyone who doesn't like the delivery or the content of Coffee and Headlines, I have great news for you. You don't have to watch. There are plenty of places where you can get your kicks and publish your rants and raves and get your news. If you don't like what's being offered here, just don't watch it. And if you're going to make critical comments like the one you did, go put them somewhere else where I don't have to put up with them, please. And that brings us to our comment section. Let's see what we have today. Lots of good mornings. It is always a pleasure to read you. And it is always a pleasure to read your good mornings. Let's see. Happy Tuesday. Some of the pictures from up north are terrifying. Hope all are well now. Well, yes, I have seen some local efforts, people that are going up north to the state of Nayarit to try to help out other people that could use some help. We got lucky again. Nature was kind to us, and hopefully that was the end of hurricane season. But as you can see, given the fact that 20 years ago our city was very, very damaged, we never know what can happen. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much, Betsy Ann. It's funny because I'm not particularly fond of this shade of green, but I appreciate your comment. Oh, which reminds me, I forgot, even before we continue with the comments, yesterday I published a little bit of a quiz or something, and I'm reminded by this because I'm reading Mateo's comment. Yesterday, I asked you if you were familiar with this music, and I'm going to play this again. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's this one. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Hold on just a second. That is not it. That's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is the video that I... Hold on just a second. Oh my God, it's not even 5 seconds long and I cannot find it. Here we go. Yesterday I posted this to the Facebook wall, and I think well, there were a couple of entries as to what this music was. I can either post another clue or I can tell you what it was. Take a look at this. So I can either tell you what that is, or you can continue guessing, or I can publish another hint. You let me know what you'd like for me to do. Now, continuing with your remarks, let's see. Sherry, I'm reading this comment. I think you are talking about the seahorse, and you are absolutely correct. This is bad news. Most often we walk in front of the seahorse, but then I went walking behind it the other day because I know that there's some intricate witchell patterns on the guardrail that is behind it, and I saw that that area was it needs some TLC from the city. Alan asks, has anyone ever attended Dia de los Muertos festivities in Guadalajara? I cannot say that I have, but I know that there's a couple of things going on in Guadalajara that may be of interest. There is not only the parade that we announced that I believe is going to take place this Saturday, but then there's also the traditional Mexican toy craft fair that was announced a few days ago. And if you look through the show notes, you may find it. And also there is a huge festival called Calaverlandia, or Skull Land, in which there's all kinds of spooky games and all kinds of activities. Again, I have not attended any of this, but it is extremely, extremely popular. Harold comments on Hurricane Kenna. We arrived in Puerto Vallarta shortly after Kenna and was amazed at the disaster cleanup response by the government, especially compared to hurricane cleanups in Texas. I came right after Kenna, and there were virtually no beaches. The ocean was right up to the restaurant and hotels. Yes, the beach layout tends to change a lot when these things happen. David comments, love El Barracuda, hope their damage was not too bad. Well, it didn't look good, but, you know, they will recover and they will do great. I mean, it's a very, very successful restaurant. If you've never eaten at Barracuda, I strongly recommend it. It is a beautiful place. Have you ever heard the expression chinga, 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 or is that a Los Angeles thing? We all Well, it depends on when you put the accent. It can be chinga, 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 or it can be chinga, chinga, chinga. A person that is chinga, chinga, chinga is somebody that is just being a nuisance. Um so it is not a Los Angeles thing. You know, we love to use the CH word in every utterance that we can. And in fact, we haven't consulted our Chingonario dictionary in a long time. I should whip it out and keep it handy for one of those days in which we need additional amusement. Paula asks, one time you made a new announcement about a change to memberships. Is there a new way to continue the membership? The announcement that was made last year is that Buy Me a Coffee, which is the company through which we support Coffee and Headlines, stopped operating directly with PayPal. At the time, Buy Me a Coffee sent out notices to all members. And the way to continue membership is to go back and apply for the membership. Not apply, but pursue the membership. You will be offered payment options that have nothing to do with PayPal, and that is the way to go about it, Paula. If that does not answer your question, feel free to send me a direct message or a chat, and I'll be happy to hold your hand. Oh, you guys want a hint? So you don't want to know what it is yet. You want another hint. Very well. I will record another hint after the broadcast. Mateo, on the other hand, says, no more hints, please. Just name the tune. I love it. As long as you guys are interested and amused by the content, that makes me a happy person. And this, of course, brings us to the end of our broadcast. As always, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your constructive, nurturing, positive comments. I appreciate the fact that some of you find the value in the Coffee and Headlines experience to be enough to actually sponsor the broadcast. To those of you that do, your comments are very important to me, and I am always grateful for the fact that you have invested yourselves in what we do here. So I'll continue with my lovely day. Hello, Gina. It's great to see you here. Yesterday was a complicated day, and but I love my friend Gina. I love the way she is resilient, and I love the way she is embracing the opportunity to learn from past experiences. We should all be that way. So I'm going to record another hint for the music that was composed by a Hungarian composer. That was a hint, and I will see you again sometime soon.